Today I wanted to talk about AWS Lambdas and especially like the size limitations of AWS Lambda. What options do we have? What happens when the size of our code exceed their size limitation? So what kind of options do we end up having? So if I go to Lambda uh, for a create a Lambda. Okay, so for a regular application, like consider that you have some calculations going on, you have uh, a specific function, a specific trigger, a specific thing you need to do. You would be good, and that's what the lambda were initially for. They were not like you are not actually trying to create a full-blown backend system with just one lambda. Uh, so sooner or later, if you are trying to create a backend application, like a full-blown backend as a lambda, you're gonna run out into issues of size, because if I have a chart here, uh, can we use the Canva? Sure. Okay, we're gonna use a whiteboard here. Okay, so the size limitations are like, sure, basically uh, initially you're gonna be getting 50 MB megabytes of a zip file. You can uh, upload directly to a lambda. um, the other limitation they have is like, sometimes what I have seen is like there is a really they go hand in hand. If I am having issues with this limitation where a zip file can only be 50 MB, I am having the other option they give you. I start having the issues in the other one too. So they go hand in hand. Once you reach out of limit on this one, you're gonna reach out of limit in the other one, which is the total size of the folder once it is unzipped needs to be less than 250 MB. So and this option is like when you can directly push your code to AWS. You can, if for some reason you have zipped has exceeded the amount, but unzip has not exceeded the amount yet. As I have said, whenever this exceeds, for in my case, this one also start exceeding that. So, but they give you an option if you have unzipped uh, files of 250 MB, you can push it to S3, and then Lambda can take it from there. That's the second option. Those two options, you sooner or later you are going to hit those thresholds once you start integrating authentication, different kind of like uh, middlewares, all those kind of things. You are going to run into those issues. So the other option they give is the container image. So what it means is like you can have a Docker image running in a registry, right? And again, for lambdas, they dictate that your Docker image needs to be on their Amazon ECR registry. So basically, what is going to happen is like you need to put your image, right? The Docker image into the Amazon ECR like direct the registry, and you're gonna browse that image, and it's gonna run out of that. So it is quite easy in the sense that you are going to have the same file. You're gonna create a Docker file with it. You are gonna push it to the Amazon ECR registry, and that's gonna solve your kind of a problem. The problem starts coming if you are thinking of just staying under the free tier. They allow up to 500 MB. Again, I'm gonna write it down for you. So for the free tier, the other ones you cannot not have it. Like you can either have, you have to contact them in order to uh, get like bump up these limits. But for if you wanted to stay under the free tier with the Docker images, you can use 500 MB just to keep an image, and that is for one image. Normally, if a 50 MB application has been containerized, in my experience, it's gonna be something around 1.5, 1.2 GB. Okay, so again, it's kind of like it's really hard to come up. So basically, you can have any size you want, but I mean, you won't be in the free tier anymore, right? Okay, so 500 MB is gonna be the free tier. Normally, when you containerized it, it has all the images, everything. It actually has all the dependencies in it, and that's gonna bring up the volume to almost 1.5 GB. If you have an application which is a little bit closer to 50 MB. Okay, that being said, what are the other options if we still wanted to stay in free tier and make use of it? This is not a viable option, although it is very easy in the sense that you're gonna have one code base, you're gonna stick with it, and it's easy to maintain. And again, this is not the only cost. So when there is gonna be a cost of like starting the application every time transferring the application, how much time you push it, the data transfer that's gonna cost. They have limitations on every step, and you have to figure out how much you end up paying. Sometimes just by using it for a month, stuff like that. Okay, if you still wanted to use free tier, the other option is that you divide your application. So you have maybe an application and you wanted to stay in the free tier. Maybe the authorization endpoints is gonna be one thing. The second one, maybe you have if your app has some job applications endpoint, if you have some products related endpoints. So you are going to divide your application, and some of them, again, if you have an Express, if you're using a Node.js, right, and you're using an Express library, you would be around 47, 46 MB, regardless like of what kind of, but you will still stay within the limits. You can actually divide your application into multiple lambdas and still make use of the free tier if you are trying to do that. Those were the things I wanted to cover. Thanks for watching.